I mean, the world's going to be upside down. There's going to be devaluations, revaluations, defaults. FDIC may not be here in a year and a half or a year. The dollar may be devalued in a year and a half. I mean, there's a lot of things going on out there. I mean, where do you see the figures in tomorrow's international forecaster about U.S. public debt as a percentage of GDP? It's unbelievable. Japan is even worse. Anyway, what do you got for questions there?
You know, I had this morning, there's a lot of confusion, I believe, over the Bank of America. One of my customers talked to Bank of America, and they said that the FDIC will actually no longer insure non-interest-bearing accounts. So accounts that that are non-interest-bearing, which
you know something, Melody? Even that's wrong.
But you know what?
The explanation is in 2 issues back, and it comes right off their site. And there's certain type of accounts, I think they call top accounts or something like that. They're the ones that are not being insured anymore. But the regular accounts, up to $250,000, they're still being insured. But I don't know what the details are because I can't remember. But if you people would subscribe, you'd get this information.
But you know what, Bob? When you talk about the non-interest-bearing accounts, you're talking about corporate accounts.
Well, you're also talking about anybody with a checking account.
Well, yes, but a lot of your little checking accounts do draw some sort of interest. Not all of them, but, you know, the majority of them anymore. You know, you get your...
No, listen, a lot of people don't want to mess around. They leave all the money in the checking account.
You get 20
so it's not insured. Maybe it's not insured anymore, you know, at some time.
But you're right. There is a lot of personal checking that doesn't draw interest. But I'm thinking about these corporate accounts who have money, who need the money in the accounts because they do have to pay their bills. They do need some kind of a cash flow. And now they're going to be forced to take it out. And what are they going to do with it? They're going to have to...
They're going to put it in treasuries, and that's why they did it.
And that's exactly why they did it.
And they did the same thing with the money market accounts on September the 18th. The government no longer guaranteed them. Now, that doesn't mean that they're not insured because they may be covered under CIPIC or FDIC. But that's not the point. The point is this is all leading toward the end of the FDIC. The FDIC's got $98 billion. The only reason they got that much money right now is they're expecting $45 billion in from the banks who pay their dues, so to speak. They charged them 3 years, 2010, 2011, and 2012. So for the next 3 years, the FDIC will get no income from the banks in their syndicate, we'll call them. And this is the last gasp with the FDIC, and that's why I reported people who were in the last Fed meeting who told me what was going on. The Fed said privately, this is not for public consumption, that they thought by the end of next year that the FDIC would be out of money and probably disbanded. Well, maybe it'll take a little longer, but that's not the point. The point is it's going to happen because they have over 2,000 banks on their crummy list. They tell the public they get 258. That's what the Fed said, over 2,000. If those 2,000 go out under in the next year to year and a half, which they will, the FDIC has got to come up with $1 trillion. Give or take $100 billion one way or the other. They don't have the money, and they're going to have to be disbanded. And, you know, people question me, this banker is at the meetings. In fact, the meetings just got over about an hour ago in Dallas. That's where he's at right now, at that meeting, and he will report to me over the weekend. I mean, this is real. I don't make this stuff up. I mean, I do have my own spy system, and it's very good, and I get a lot of help from subscribers, too. You'd be surprised.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of smart people out there who don't work for the Fed, Wall Street, and the government.
Now, also on the FDIC insurance on the money market accounts, are those brokerage accounts or individual accounts?
I would suspect that they would be brokerage accounts under Merrill Lynch in this case, if it's B of A.
So why wouldn't all the banks follow suit?
I think they will. B of A is the biggest, so they're the first one to go. And the choice that they made for their new president was from within their own ranks, and the reason why no one would take the job. So that means that Bank of America is still on course to be taken down. And that's why Lewis left, because he didn't want to be at the helm when Bank of America was declared insolvent. That's what's going on there. And I got that from the same source, and I got it about a month ago.